Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is SCL0320 representing JVS. I'm back at again for a brand new TV show, first reaction to, of course, The Flash. Season 2 has been actually really good, believe it or not. And this is actually the 11th episode. The name of this episode is The Reverse Flash Returns. Brief synopsis is Barry and his team don't believe Cisco when he reveals that he got a vibe of Eobard Thawne. That's the only thing I'm going to say about it. First reactions for me, this was actually a really good episode in a lot of different ways because everything about the first season of Flash, it showed the possibility of altering timelines and showing the ramifications of the butterfly effect, where you do one thing and it has this cause and effect. When the tidal wave hit in the first season and Barry went back to the future, to try to save people, and then somebody died instead, which was Eddie, versus it actually being, Cisco. There's so many different ramifications that kind of happen, but in this one, it solidified the fact that even when you can go and alter something and change the scope of how it's supposed to happen, there's always that possibility that there's no way of being able to change it at all. And the group, they face that in the deepest way possible in this episode. Not just that, Cisco actually showcases his powers as the Vibe in general. With the help of Harrison Wells, they finally have his goggles, like his defining goggles that solidify him as the Vibe, and they actually get it to work. But what happens is, when he actually utilizes it and hones in on it, he finds out that Eobard Thawne is back. And the thing that I loved about this episode is that this is really Eobard Thawne's origin story in a lot of different ways. Even Harrison Wells kind of defines that in a certain realm. But there's a couple things that are happening in this episode that I actually really liked. One was the fact that, Joe's wife she has maybe days basically, and so Joe's trying to get his daughter and his son to get together to try to say their goodbyes, and it's not a problem for Iris, but for some reason it's a real issue with Wally, and you get to find out the reason is why. But it more solidifies them as one of the most centerpieces of this show. Like, their family, which includes Barry in a lot of different defining ways, is one of the best things that are on TV. And they do a really good job of every single time that they showcase the family dynamics between Joe, between Iris, and now even with his wife and with Wally incorporated, it doesn't skip a beat. And it was actually some really good dialogue, really good drama that's actually happening, especially for Iris. She gets a really big breakthrough when it comes to her mother. And then the other side of this is Patty's gone, or she's about to leave. And Barry has this opportunity to kind of, reach out to her one last time, and he's not doing it. And his reasonings for doing it are interestingly defined as well. I think that Harrison Wells kind of described it for him, the reason why, but last episode, but it's even more so. Like, by the end of the episode, I was just like, my jaw dropped. I'm not gonna say why, you just have to go and watch it. But either way, this was actually an awesome action-packed episode. But one of the things I haven't talked about is what happens when the Flash and Reverse Flash collide. And it's a battle. Like, it's a really good battle in a lot of different ways. But the thing is that this is the beginning story of the Reverse Flash, and our Flash, he's seasoned. He's at least 2 years seasoned now. So he's got a lot more tricks up his sleeve, so it actually makes for a really good fight, as well as Barry's, his stability. Even in fact of him knowing what happened with his mom and everything with the paradox, he's Barry Allen in general. And I think that his dad, who I always called his dad, Joe, has said something to him towards the end. It was about basically that you have to be prepared from now up until years later, when you're going to be a part of this major thing, even in the future, that you have to continue to be ready and upbeat and do the right thing no matter what the count and no matter what the cost. And that's who Barry Allen is. I think this episode more so defined Barry as being a more solid, well-rounded hero in a lot of different ways. Not just sacrificial, but just solid. And so for me, I actually give this episode a 9 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed it. I can't wait to actually go ahead and give y'all my spoiler-filled review, so I'm about to get into that right now. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this first reaction. I have actually a couple sequences that I actually had recorded my face with, so I'll be able to post that up probably after I do my spoiler-filled review. So stay tuned for that. That's about to come up in just a second. Keep it locked. JVS, we're not going to stop. Y'all stay blessed, and yeah, stay tuned for the full review, full spoilers. It's about to come in a second. Later.